Hey, good evening. This is Tyler Franklin with Axis Seed. I hope you're having a good day. I want to take a little bit of time to talk to you about consistent performance among different hybrids and how some are much better adapted to your operation than others. So I created this graph right here to illustrate some of these differences. You got yield over here on the left side, and you've got different seasons down here at the bottom. What I wanted to show was that some of these products are more variable than others. So the dark line represents the product that's not very well adapted and has high highs, but also has really low lows. And you get this bouncing effect. And this is not what you want for your operation. It's really tricky because you're making your decisions year after year. And a lot of times a farmer will make his decision based on the previous year, forgetting about 2 or 3 years ago. The second product is the one with the dotted line, and you'll see you might not have quite as high peaks, and you might be just as good or slightly better, but it doesn't dip down quite as low on an off year. And this is very typical to see across several different seasons. We're not even in seasons, but you can see this variance across a field based on different soil types, based on elevation, based on fertility differences, and you get this big swing. What's going to make you the most money is the product that stays consistent the most. So product A with the big ups and downs, this is the racehorse, the one that really stands out in yield contests. It's the one that everybody talks about. It's probably a very popular hybrid, but is it the best hybrid that offers you the most return? Probably not. What you're looking for is this guy in here that stays a little bit more consistent. And what causes these swings? And when we talk about something that's adapted, what makes it more adapted than something else? And it has to do with limiting the stressors. So this could be the difference in drought tolerance right here. The top end, you talk about top end all day long, and a lot of these products have very similar top end, but what you're limiting is, what you want to limit is stress. The one that has the least stress is the one that's going to show you the most top end. Stress doesn't have to just be drought. It can be heat. It can be humidity. It can be seedling vigor, so planting in the real cold soils. This year too could have been planting conditions. You could have had a really bad stand with this product right here just because it didn't stand up very well to the cold, wet soils. Whereas this one had better seedling vigor, offered you a little bit more consistency. Disease will offer the same swings. So what you want to focus on is not necessarily the highest yielding corn. You want to focus on the products that are the most consistent overall. And you see this in your own field, not just over seasons. The tricky part is that it's very easy to remember last year. So a lot of people just finished up corn harvest. You remember your best field or your highest yielding corn. Think back last year, remember how that performed. Think about how it performed on your lighter soils. What we're trying to find is something that gives you a better average over time. You talk about the stress. If you want to compare it to something, I like thinking about it. It's just like human genetics. It's really no different. The more stress we put our bodies through, our minds through, the more difficulties we're going to have when we age. So different people have different genetics, and some people handle it completely differently. So plants are no different. They're handling stress completely different. That's why you see swings between different hybrids. There's a lot of people out there that say, well, it's all the same stuff. It's coming from the same provider. I can promise you that now that I've been in the seed business for quite some time, there's a pile of variance out there. Even if the hybrid has the same parent, even if it has the same female parent, you can see a swing. If you have the same hybrid but different traits, because they cross the traits into it, you can have a Smart Stacks version and a Double Pro version that respond completely different to these stresses. So even though you might have some similarities, you really need to focus on what offers you the most consistency. Another challenge we will run into as we're selecting hybrids is because biotechnology and science is changing so fast, so are our choices. The plant breeders are culling through these hybrids and they're advancing them a whole lot faster than they were, say, 5 or 6 years ago, and that's only going to speed up. So 2 or 3 years go by and you figure out you've got something really consistent, and the seed company that you're dealing with convinces you to try something and it's way up here. And you're like, man, this new product that they got me to try really is this good. Well, what you don't know is what it could do the next year. So the reason I point this out is you really need to not only learn to trust your products, but you really need to trust your seedsmen, because they're the ones out here suggesting these products. They're the ones that are supposedly studying these things and know where they fit and where they don't fit. I can promise you that nobody has put as much time and effort into studying where these products fit as I have. I've got 25 corn plots across the state of Virginia. I'm breaking the data down based on not just soil type, but even elevation. So we see differences in how these things perform based on elevation. So the stuff in the valley and up in the Piedmont might have a different response to what's on the coastal plain. That's my job, and I can promise you nobody else in the state of Virginia is putting this much time and effort into figuring out where these things fit. So what Axis is bringing to the table is not only products that are adapted to this region. There's nobody telling us we have to go sell these 4 or 5 products across the state of Virginia. We're not just selling these products, we're actually selecting. So in our plots, I'm not just studying the products that we're currently selling, I'm studying experimental lines too to figure out if it's something that we need to advance in the coming years. So by selecting specific products, you're going to end up with products that are more adapted and more consistent over time. Another edge that I can bring to you is by knowing where these products fit is I can take a product that's already adapted to your region and select one that is better adapted to your farm specifically. So I've seen hybrids respond differently to herbicides, to fertilizer management, planters. I mean, planting depth is a big issue. So if you've got a farmer who typically plants more shallow, we need to focus on seedling vigor a little bit more. There's so many variables when it comes to hybrid performance. The more your seedsman knows about his products, the better he's going to be able to place them on your farm, which means the better return on investment you get. Placement is just as important as figuring out what hybrid is consistent. So when we sit down this fall, I don't just want to offer you what I think is the best hybrid for your operation. I want to look at your soil maps. I want to understand your management tools. I want to look at your planner. I want to look at all the variables that I can to get the best understanding possible for how your farm operates. That's only going to make me better at suggesting a product for you. If you have any questions, you can call me 804-445-4333, or you can check us out at tidewaterseed.com. Thank you.